auction e-commerce with zip code and proximity lookup. Depending on the type of auction that you're conducting, this can be a very critical aspect of your auction e-commerce platform. Now, what exactly is this feature and this functionality? The main idea here is that if your auction items are physically non-shippable, or they're typically not going to be shipped, or possibly the shipping cost is going to be substantial, then we're going to want to use the zip code lookup, because folks may want to factor this into their overall decision-making on these auctions. And if the items are close enough, they may decide to simply go pick them up directly or schedule some form of intermodal shipment, that kind of a thing. Okay, so how exactly does a zip code lookup work typically? And typically, you've seen these on all kinds of different websites, but simply put, the user is going to be able to, at first, if you would like, have a GeoIP lookup. So we're going to automatically attempt to allow the user to just use their GeoIP from their machine. Now, a lot of people are very focused on privacy nowadays, and their browsers prevent, or at least by default, prevent that information from flowing through. So we still want to be able to allow the user to put their zip code in or some other form of address information. And it really is that simple. On the back end, underneath the hood, we're going to be using a simple algorithm to look up based on the address or zip code information they provide and do a geo lookup against the different auctions that are currently active. Now, one of the really cool things about this process is we can leverage the zip code and proximity lookup to also create a geofence within which we provide notifications to the users. So you can think of this as an auction scout or an auction notification system. Depending on the criteria for the auction, this can be a really powerful method for continuing to bring users back to your site and provide a lot of value to them so that they can actually see when an auction is coming up that matches their criteria, that's within their geofence or zip code proximity. Really, really cool stuff. So obviously you're seeing an example here that we're looking at right now. And you can see that in this particular example, we simply have a list of the different auctions, and we have a visual map that's shown to the right. Now, it's possible to make the map much bigger. It's possible to make it so that the user can adjust this dynamically. And then, of course, we can also do things like put promoted auctions at the top of the list, or even change the different icons of the promoted auctions. We can do things like show the items that are ending soonest first, that kind of a thing. But the main point here is that we want to make it really easy for the user, and we want to make sure that they can, if possible, preserve this information and persist it through different sessions. So even if the user isn't logged in, we want to provide them with the option to persist this based on their session, so they don't have to reset this every time they're on the site. Now, a couple other things that are really interesting about this. So first of all, you can see here that we have a nice little pop-up that's showing, and this is based on them clicking on the Find Auctions Near Me or Find Auctions button on this site. So we can show a nice little modal instead of just a typical GeoIP lookup pop-up. Here you can see we're calling this the Location Finder, and this is allowing bids near them to show up based on selecting this. A couple other interesting pieces of the location aspect are built into the actual catalog system and the filtering system within the catalog. And this is where it gets really cool. So here on the actual catalog system, we can further filter their results and allow them to apply multiple additional filters based on their proximity and other categories. Now, this can present in a lot of different ways. We can show it in a grid format like we're seeing here. We can also show it with a lot of different immersive capabilities, like a top header bar possibly, and an overall map, and then drop downs on the header bar. This is just one example of a way to present this proximity search. The other thing that we can do is we can preserve their proximity information to the top right, or to a location filtering capability that's simply a rollover or a drop down, so they can quickly change between that. One of the other things that we've seen for a lot of clients is that they will also, for their auction model, they may have multiple set locations that aren't changing based on sellers, but they're actually holding the auctions at their physical locations. If that's the case, we can do a proximity lookup for an auction item. So if the item is unavailable at a very close location to the user, we can make a suggestion for an auction near them that may be the most proximate auction that still has that item in inventory or has an active auction for it, for example. So these are some examples of how we can iterate on the zip code or proximity based lookup. Now, ultimately for your specific business, you're probably going to have really nuanced details that apply to your industry and how this might work in your space. Based on that, we encourage you to take a look at the complementary resources that we provided in the description, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next. Thanks for watching this video on auction e-commerce. This is a series of videos, and we want to encourage you that you're welcome to take a look at the additional features and functionalities as you see fit, and may be a good area for you to understand more. You can take a look at the detailed next video in this series by clicking the link that we've provided. We also have a set of links to all of the different videos in a playlist that you can take a look at. We've also compressed the videos into a single overall video, and if you would like, we've put together a free resource guide and checklist on auction e-commerce. One of the other things that we love to do at Clarity is provide you with complimentary guidance with some of our technical experts. So if you're interested in this, we call this a complimentary discovery, and you're welcome to go to our website, link below in the description, and go ahead and get that free complimentary discovery. We just want to say thank you again so much for watching this video and for being fans and subscribers. If you would, we would love it if you would do some auction with the like button and go ahead and hit the winning bid on the like button. All jokes aside, we really appreciate you guys watching. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks again.